The following announcement has been paid for by the Mike World Order. You know, when you take those few moments to do the most simplest things, like brush your hair, fix a cup of water, or even just yawn. It doesn't take that much time of the similarities of pressing play and getting on Season 6, Episode 1 of the Mike Cook Guys podcast, the long-awaited season that you people deserve from Mike Cook, the IWGP Intercontinental Championship owner. Number one, all you idiots out there and naysayers that hate on me, you ain't shit. Get out of here. That being said, thank you for listening. Lots been going on since the, I hate to say it, the path of self-destruction that was Season 5. I wasn't into it. I felt like I lost my mojo. Forgive me, but I'm glad that a lot of followers still ask about, when are you going to do a new episode? When are you going to do a new episode? So that just goes to show that apparently I'm doing something right. And like I said, once again, forgive me. Now you're going to hear some background noises. You know, my table's kind of a little creaky, but you guys have heard worse on my show. So a lot of people's been asking, you know, what have you been up to? And to be honest, you could call this episode Season 6, Episode 1, a reflection of the past 6 months. And I'm not including May. We're just going from pretty much November to now. So a lot of people didn't know. My unexpected friend came back. My second battle with cancer cells, polyps. And I had to get them removed. I had to get them cut out of me. And I got to admit, that second surgery hurt so much worse than the first. But I had the confidence that I have better doctors up here in the state of Virginia compared to South Carolina. While this was going on, though, I took on a third job working for a company. And I really liked this company because I felt like my other part-time job wasn't paying me enough and they weren't valuing me overall. So I took a chance. I took a chance and I didn't want to lose my spot. So even though after having this operation done, you know, people are like, doctors are like, hey, you need to take 2 weeks off at least. The next day I was working both jobs. I was working all the way up to Black Friday, both jobs. And Black Friday was probably literally 24 hours of working. And what most people didn't know, I was in the most excruciating pain while working. But none of you guys saw that because I was busy trying to work my butt off to, you know, have a spot. And that's what I wanted, a spot. Not your spot, not your dog's spot, my spot. Not your friend's spot, not your doctor's spot, not your mama's spot, my spot. So that was going on. And then I went home and I went to visit, my family. And, I felt bad because I didn't get to do all I wanted to do, because it felt like, even though it was 4 days I was gone, it felt like it was 2 days crammed in. I really get to do stuff. And all I did was slept because my body was just exhausted. It just reached this point of exhaustion that wasn't even funny. When I got on the plane and I found out I had my own seat, I literally passed out from the beginning to the end of the flight. Which also noticed that as I was passed out, every time I stopped breathing. I didn't know it until one morning my mom woke me up because she didn't hear me breathe at all. She saw me trying to struggle to breathe. So moving forward, I now sleep with a CPAP machine. And for any person out there, I don't care if you're big or if you're little or if you have any type of sleeping problem, this thing will change your life. It will really change your life. Like, you will notice a difference in your breathing. You'll even notice your blood flow in your body from using this thing. Like, I mean, it does wonders. And a lot of people don't understand that. If you have problems with that, I recommend you get one now. Do not half-ass like I did. Get it. So, in the process of working at this new job, I met new friends, but there was this one friend that I would have never thought I would have seen ever again, because up until working there, I only saw him once, and once only. I see this kid, tall, lanky, curly hair that's growing like crazy, and I looked at him and I was like, I know you, but I don't know how. And he's like, well, tell me. I said, what's your name? And he told me his name, and I was like, is your mom so-and-so? And he's like, yeah. I was like, oh shit. I used to date your mom. It was the ex from a couple years ago that I gave my whole heart to, and we're not going to go there, the full story, but you guys who know me know how that went. But a lot has changed within the past couple of years of how I'd grown up as a person. It was just one of those things I wasn't ready for. When he asked about the full story, pretty much pointed out everything. And you remember when this happened? You remember when that happened? That was because of me. And it's a good feeling to know that they remember that in a good way, that he remembers that in a good way. Even though now we laugh and joke about stuff and we love it's hard to explain. There's moments where we look at each other. We don't even have to say a word, and we bust out laughing. But it's so coincidental that eventually, and people said it, because you two are talking, you're going to end up bumping into his mom, and then you're going to have to face facts. Well, I had to face facts. And it literally happened a few weeks ago. I'm, coming in from trying to find a parking spot because the fair was going on. I'm agitated as hell. It's hot. I'm sweaty. I should have worn my linen pants. And I'm like, my day cannot get any worse. And then I see her, and she, pointed me out. And I'm thinking in the back of my mind, oh, shit. And we started talking. And it was like, okay, I don't know what to think here. Are those feelings going to come back? I don't know. Next day she showed up. She stopped by, next door, because her job is next door for where I work. She walked in, said, hey, I felt like my heart was going to drop again, like it did the first time I saw her. And we ended up having a good talk a couple of times, and, we agreed to start from the beginning as friends. And, yeah, sometimes it's good to have that closure because shit happens, but you never know what's going to happen next. Like now we could be friends, but who knows? Some things you can't predict, but Mike Cook is still going his own way, doing what he needs to do. Which brings me to another person that I ended up befriending in the process too. And I hate to say it, the guy was in a situation where he was, and I don't care any of y'all, because a lot of people can give their 2 cents about this guy, but they weren't there when the situation happened. They weren't there when it was him and the other person, what they were going through. Nobody can put their 2 cents in because they don't know the full story, and they don't know it because they're going based on what that one person's saying. And now some of y'all are starting to look dumb because that one person manipulated you too, and y'all fell into it. But I ended up helping him out because he did a solid for me. And that's the thing about people in 2019. You people can say whatever the fuck you want about me. I really don't care. But the one thing, well, I take that back. The 2 things you will never point out to me is that 1, that I'm a liar, which that's not the case. And 2, people can't say I've never been loyal, because I've always been loyal. Even down to people who ended up treating me like shit and did me wrong. Which brings me to this person. This guy I've had on my podcast on a past episode, and I thought we were good friends until I really started to see his true self unravel. You see, the one thing about myself that I learned moving up here, I embraced the Latino culture. I embraced the heritage and all that. Don't get it twisted. I'm not trying to pretend to be something I'm not. I know my race and I know my family stats. But at the same time, it really bothers me when people try to say I'm trying to be a pretender when I'm not. I may not be a Catholic, but I wear a rosary out of respect. Just like I may not be a Buddhist, but I like the image of Buddha because it's a happy guy with a gut. And he's happy, he's confident. He doesn't care what the world thinks of him. But this guy, yeah, I get it. Because you live in the city of Fairfax, which is known for being predominantly white and bougie, you figure that's your cup of tea. But the fact that you've borrowed money from me and others, and you screwed us over in the process. On top of that, you screwed over another person out of $30,000. What the hell were you thinking? And I know what you're going to say. You can't mention that on the podcast. Let me tell you something. It was at the point to where that woman, that poor woman, and her lawyer showed up at my apartment with my own dad even here to visit. We're trying to enjoy ourselves until this happened. So I'm sure for those few moments, my father's probably wondering, is my involved in something illegal? No. And it was hard to reconvince him of that. Because it felt like he wasn't going to take my word for it. But he ended up finally taking my word for it because I'm one of those type of people. I've got nothing to lose and everything to gain. But this motherfucker screwed me over big time to where you brought my family into it. And I sent him a message the next day about it. And he had the nerve to say that it wasn't true. Oh, they're lying, don't believe them. Nah, you constantly lied. You constantly lied to everybody. You constantly lied to your so-called coworkers, your so-called friends. You mentioned of all these people. But here's my thing. I wonder, All those people that you post on social media with your little cute hashtags of my friends are better than yours, my fit family, and all that other bullshit. But I wonder, how many of those people did you borrow money from, huh? How many of those people did you beg? And how many of those people that you tried to keep your image telling them, hey, don't say this, don't mention this. There was one time you were getting on my nerves about it so much, I wanted to knock you the fuck out right then and there. And the feeling still hasn't changed. That's why if I ever see you in my city, I'm dropping everything and I'm gunning for you. Why? Because I think you're a chicken shit punk. And the fact that I had to let it be known on the podcast, it didn't have to be this way. If you would have made just one payment, I wouldn't be slandering you like this. And I'm actually going easy because there's many people that you have screwed over and they moved on. And I finally had to learn to move on. But I'm telling you, your karma is building and building. He'll never get right. And it's at the point to where as a person, you're only good to me dead as you are alive, because either way, I'm not seeing a red cent from you. And I'm cool with that. Because people like you don't last long. And you'll see why. And that's not a threat coming from me. That's a threat coming from something called karma. And you built your karma so much to where it's basically this red ink of debt. And it's not even funny. It's not funny at all. But I had to sit and watch through people. I'm coming in at work. Like, here's a little secret. We all knew your car was getting towed away at work. We all didn't say anything. Because you know why? Because it wasn't our problem. We would have had your back if all you had to do was put the effort in. You couldn't do that. You might as well just spat in our faces. And you kept figuring out how to get a ride to work. You kept blowing up my phone every morning, hoping, thinking that this guy is going to drive all the way to Fairfax to pick your dumb ass up because of the situation you put yourself in, and you expected me to help you? Nah, bruh. You even mentioned it in your drunken conversation that you conned me on purpose, and your reason why. Because you knew I'd be dumb enough to fall for it. So guess what? I wasn't going to be dumb enough to drive all the way to where you were at, pick you up, take you to work, then drop you back off, not knowing that I was going to get gas money out of it. Nah. You can pretty much do yourself a favor and kiss my ass along with the rest of the people that you owe. Now that I got that out of my system, it didn't have to be that way, you know? It really did. But it is what it is, right? But there was so much other stuff that went on too. You know, I broke up a lot of friendships. I had one with someone who I thought was my best friend, but I guess her spouse, even though he wears the dress in the family, he didn't approve of our friendship. Nothing was going on. I wasn't even trying to make it go on. But I'm starting to learn that people in this state aren't used to a kind person full of Southern hospitality. Yeah, I get it's called Northern Virginia, and I'm not bashing the city because I love this area. But one thing that I can't stand is that the fact that you guys act like you're Northerners. You guys don't even have fucking sweet tea. If the only place I gotta go to for sweet tea is either McDonald's or the Chinese restaurant, that's sad. That's inexcusable. Whether you notice it or not, Virginia's part of the South. because we're part of the Mid-Atlantic region. Virginia, the Carolinas, Georgia, Mid-Atlantic. But it just humors me. And for a while, I was sucked up into this lifestyle of, pretty much tuning people out. Forgetting that, hey, people are opening the door, compliment them, say thank you. To most of you people, it kills y'all to say thank you. I swear, it just puzzles me. Like, it's like you guys aren't used to a good person. And then if someone is like being nice or complimenting you, you idiots are quick to say, oh, this guy's trying to get in your pants. It's not even that close. Don't even give me that bull. Because that stuff I deal with even at my current job. Just because I'm nice to you, do not assume it's because I'm trying to get in your pants or anything. Because chances are, there's many people who have before, and I don't feel like just being another guy on the list. I do have standards. Decent standards at that. But it just humors me the things that people are quick to assume. And then they want to go based on social media. Can't always go based on social media. Like, I give off the image that I'm this happy-go-lucky guy who works hard and all that, when deep down inside, I'm miserable as shit because when I get off work, I go straight home. I don't always go out and hang out with people. And people assume that. No, there's moments I just want to go home, lock myself in these doors, and just chill. But because I haven't done a podcast in so long, that's not fair to you guys. It's not fair at all. So I do what I can. And I try to do what I can. So understand, if I can't pull it off, at least you people know I tried. And that's all I can do for you guys. Just try. So it humors me when stuff like that goes on and people are quick to spat out the mouth, but they don't want to get their facts first. They want to play like fake investigators. Whatevs. But trying to figure out what else has been going on in my oh so boring life. Like I said, it's been a lot of ins and outs. And like recently I've been detoxing and I'm having withdrawals because I just want to better myself, but at the same time, my patience has become shorter. I've been a lot more snappier. Like, this panda persona I've had has turned into a hating dragon that breathes out fire at everybody and everything, with the exceptions of those. But, it can be very tiresome trying to upkeep this image that, everything's cool and everything's great. But it feels so good right now unloading on this podcast because it's been so long. So long. I don't know what to do with myself at this point. I'm about to go crazy, but in a good way. Not in a bad way. Good way. Because of that creativity factor. Especially the fact that my introduction to this podcast, I try to get it as accurate as possible to Shingo Takagi from New Japan Pro Wrestling, because I emulate his mannerisms so bad in terms of Asian etiquette, Japanese etiquette at that. So it humors me. So I think I covered everything within this 30-minute span almost. I think. I'm trying to figure out what else. No. Future episodes. Forgive me, guys. I'm supposed to be doing episodes with my Insta-famous manager, Mr. Brian J. Espinoza III. If you notice a lot of videos we post a lot of comedic videos because we're trying to, I guess, do something different out the ordinary. We're trying to get Insta-famous. You know, something that most people, it seems like it's so easy to do, but it's so hard in the process. Like I was watching the Insta-famous documentaries on Netflix, and I'm like, what the hell? You got this one fat ass dude getting paid like $15,000 just to do a commercial for the app called GoPuff, which I don't know if that's still around. I think the money y'all put into that guy caused y'all to shut down, because GoPuff is basically an app for people that want to have snacks and stuff shipped to their homes. Well, how do you know where to go and where to get it from, you know? They say it's from a warehouse, but there's not one in, you know, Northern Virginia. I think there's one in D.C., but still, anybody gonna come from D.C. to my area? Come on, man, what the hell? But still, the fact that they paid this dude is driving in a Lamborghini, and he's struggling to get in the Lamborghini. But I'm like, how the hell does he get in there? Talking about some, without Instagram, I'd be in jail. No, you need to go get a job like every other fucking person in this state. You know, that's why I don't give money to homeless people. I'm so paranoid because I've seen most of them con people. It ruins it for the actual homeless people. You know, watching Don't Be a Menace has woke me up to that and kept me hip to the movement. So I get it now. Not doing that again. Also, another episode that'll be coming soon. And it's pretty much going to be entitled The Ace in the New Era, because let's face it, I'm not getting any younger, but hanging out with this kid at work, he brings out the youth in me, and he makes work fun, and he loves to joke on me, calling me an old head and an old dude and all that. But if I remember recently, you were like a jobber in a Taz match in ECW. You choked out. But we're not going to go there. We might joke about it on the episode. Who knows? We might do a table for three with Mr. Espinoza. However it's going to be done. You know. And also, this show is also sponsored by Iron Mike's Championship Belts. For anyone who's interested in a championship belt, you let me know, and I will send you his info and send you on your way. It's at affordable prices, and the accuracy is 100% legit. Just look at my IWGP Intercontinental belt. It's better than the one New Japan shows on TV. Go figure. And also, Professional Wines by Victoria Lee. She's another one. I hosted one of her wine parties. It was great. It was awesome. You should check it out. You should go order some wine. If you like the sweet wine, I recommend either getting the blonde or the regular Fasada. It is amazing. If you want to be spontaneous with it, add some fresh fruit and some rum, and make a sangria, y'all, because it's getting to that summer. Sangria and tacos, man. Chicks dig sangrias and tacos. And if you don't like sangrias, make tacos anyways. And I'm not talking about that old El Paso bullshit or that stuff that they see at Taco Bell. No, I want you to get some actual corn tortillas, chop up some meat, chop up some onions, chop some cilantro up, cook it on the grill, put it on the tortilla, and just go over the top from there and watch her reaction goes as she takes a bite into it. She'll look at you and love you forever. Or she will lose complete interest in Taco Bell whatsoever, which makes that cool on your end too. Speaking of tacos, I'm hungry. How ironic, but except me, I'm going to eat me a rice ball. So with that being said, Season 1, Season 6, Episode 1. My bad. I forgot. uncut, uncensored in one take. But next week will be episode 2. Whichever it's going to be, whether it's with Mr. Espinosa or with the new era. Either way, it's going to be a new episode. So as I get ready to lock and load, I will see you guys next time. That being said, goodbye and good night. Bang!